Let me tell you something from the bottom of my heart. Behind every strong man, there's a woman who believed in him before he even believed in himself. I'm standing here today not because I was perfect, not because I always made the right choices, but because one woman looked at me and saw something in me I couldn't see in the mirror. When Steve Harvey speaks about love and gratitude, he does it in a way that touches the deepest part of your soul. His words are not just speeches. They're experiences. They carry the weight of lessons learned the hard way, of struggles that shaped his heart, and of love that transformed his spirit. When he says, "I love you, woman who changed my life," it's not just a confession, it's a revelation. It's a realization that gratitude is the foundation of love, and love is the greatest motivator of all. Steve often reminds people that success without gratitude is empty. You can have the cars, the fame, the money, but if you forget the person who believed in you when you had nothing, you've already lost what truly matters. His message is raw and real because it comes from experience. He knows what it means to fall, to fail, to feel forgotten, and he knows the power of someone who stands by you through it all. In this speech, the emotion is not in fancy words, but in the truth behind them. Gratitude isn't something you say once a year on a special day. It's something you live every day. It's waking up and realizing that the woman beside you didn't just love you at your best. She stayed when you were broken. Steve Harvey reminds men that being grateful isn't weakness, it's strength. It takes courage to look someone in the eye and say, "I couldn't have done this without you." It takes humility to admit that love made you stronger. This kind of speech doesn't just inspire men to love better. It teaches everyone that success means nothing without appreciation. When Steve Harvey talks, he doesn't just celebrate the woman who changed his life. He celebrates the idea of transformation through love. He speaks about the quiet power of gratitude, the kind that doesn't need to be loud to be real. It's in the way you treat the person who believed in you, the way you protect their peace, and the way you honor their love with your actions. Gratitude, as Steve says, turns an ordinary life into an extraordinary story, and love gives that story a heartbeat. There is something profoundly powerful about a man expressing his love and gratitude for the woman who changed his life. It's more than emotion, it's transformation in its purest form. When Steve Harvey gives this kind of tribute, he doesn't speak as a celebrity or comedian. He speaks as a man who has seen the world at its worst and found his reason to rise again in the heart of a woman who never gave up on him. He reminds us that real strength doesn't come from pride or independence, but from connection, from the people who hold us steady when we're about to fall. His words become a mirror reflecting the silent sacrifices women make every day, the patience they show, the prayers they whisper, and the faith they carry when the man they love starts to lose his way. An emotional tribute like this is not just about saying thank you. It's about acknowledging the unseen. The moments she stayed up late waiting, the time she encouraged him when the world laughed, the time she loved him when he was unlovable. These are not moments people see, but they are the very moments that build the foundation of a man's comeback story. Steve Harvey often says that behind every strong man is not just a supportive woman, but a woman who saw his potential even when he didn't. This kind of woman becomes his mirror, reflecting the version of himself he hasn't yet become. She changes his life not by giving him power, but by reminding him he already has it. This tribute is also a lesson in humility. A man who can stand before the world and say, "You changed me," is a man who understands love in its truest form. He's not afraid to admit that he needed someone, that he wasn't always right, strong, or in control. Steve Harvey's delivery makes this truth universal. He turns personal gratitude into a public awakening, urging every man to stop taking love for granted, to stop assuming that devotion is endless, and to start honoring the one who stood through the storm. He reminds us that sometimes the greatest blessing you'll ever receive doesn't come wrapped in success or fame. It comes wrapped in loyalty, kindness, and patience. An emotional tribute like this doesn't just touch the heart, it shakes it. It calls men to remember the value of a woman who prays for their peace, speaks life into their dreams, and sees light in their darkness. It teaches that true love isn't just romance, it's rescue, it's salvation through compassion. When Steve Harvey says, "I love you," Woman who changed my life, it echoes a universal truth. That one person's love can rewrite your destiny, rebuild your purpose, and reignite your fire. Because when a woman loves you through your flaws and failures, she doesn't just change your life, she gives you back the strength to change your own. When Steve Harvey speaks about love, strength, and partnership, his words strike a balance between vulnerability and power. He doesn't talk about love as a fairy tale. He talks about it as a partnership built through trials, forgiveness, and faith. He reminds everyone that true love is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's the kind of love that keeps showing up even when the world around you falls apart. Steve's message is simple yet profound. Real strength doesn't come from what you can do alone. It comes from what you can build together. He often tells men that being strong doesn't mean being silent. Strength is not just the ability to stand tall, it's the willingness to kneel beside someone you love and say, I need you. In his words, partnership is the backbone of every great life story. No man becomes great without someone walking beside him, pushing him when he's tired, reminding him of his purpose when he's lost. That's the power of true love. It doesn't compete, it completes. It doesn't drain your energy, it multiplies it. Steve often says that a strong woman doesn't want to lead a man. She wants to stand beside a man who knows where he's going. That's partnership, the harmony between two people who trust each other enough to grow together, not apart. When he delivers this message, his tone is filled with gratitude and realism. He knows that love is not easy. It takes patience, discipline, and forgiveness. Sometimes the person you love will hurt you, not because they want to, but because they're human. And sometimes you'll be the one who falls short. But the beauty of true partnership lies in choosing to fight with each other instead of fighting against each other. Steve says that love becomes powerful when two imperfect people refuse to give up on one another. That's where real strength is born, not in muscles or money, but in loyalty and endurance. He teaches that partnership is not about control, it's about contribution. It's two people bringing their best selves to the table, learning from their mistakes, and respecting each other's growth. When a man learns to lead with love and a woman learns to trust that love, the bond becomes unbreakable. True love is not always loud, it's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's quiet. It's in the morning coffee she makes without asking, in the words he doesn't say but shows through his actions. It's in the moments where both choose peace over pride. That's what builds a lifetime of strength. Steve Harvey's message reminds us that partnership is not 50-50, it's 100-100. Both people give their all, not because they have to, but because they want to. That's what makes love sacred. It's about understanding that even when the world turns cold, you've got one person who believes in you so deeply that you start believing in yourself again. Strength is not the absence of struggle, it's surviving it together. True love doesn't rescue you from pain, it gives you a reason to keep going through it. When Steve says, I love you, woman who changed my life, it's not just romance, it's recognition. It's the realization that partnership is a gift that demands gratitude every single day. He shows that love, when honored and nurtured, becomes the greatest source of strength a person can have. Because when two people truly stand together, they don't just survive life, they conquer it. Their love becomes a force that defies fear, silence, and time itself. That's what true partnership means, to walk side by side, to fall and rise together, and to keep loving even when the world stops believing. Steve Harvey's message about appreciating the people who lift you when you're down is one of the most moving and universal truths he shares. It's a call to gratitude, a reminder that none of us rise alone. Behind every success story, every victory, and every dream that finally came true, there's someone who believed when no one else did. Steve speaks from his own life, how he went from sleeping in his car to standing on some of the biggest stages in the world. And he never fails to remind his audience that he didn't get there by himself. Someone stood with him, someone prayed for him, someone gave him hope when he had none left. And that, he says, is what makes life meaningful. Appreciation is more than a polite thank you. It's a way of living. It's waking up every morning and remembering the faces of those who refuse to give up on you. It's understanding that success isn't truly yours alone. It's built from the kindness, love, and support of the people who carried you through your lowest points. Steve's message isn't just motivational, it's deeply emotional. He reminds us that when people lift you, they're giving you something you can never repay: faith. Faith that you're capable of more. Faith that your story isn't over yet. Faith that even in your worst moments, you still have purpose. He often says that in our chase for greatness, we forget to look back. We forget to call the ones who helped us stand. We forget to appreciate the small things, the advice, the encouragement, the prayers whispered quietly at night. Steve urges everyone to slow down and acknowledge the people who carried them when life was too heavy to face alone. Because one day, you'll realize those were the real heroes in your life. Not the ones who celebrated your success, but the ones who sat with you in silence when you were broken. This message is not just for men or women, it's for everyone who has ever felt saved by someone's love or kindness. Appreciation doesn't just make others feel valued, it changes you, it humbles you. It reminds you that no matter how high you rise, you will always need people. Steve's tone when he speaks about this is soft but powerful, filled with warmth and sincerity. He wants people to understand that it takes strength to say, I didn't do this alone. Because in a world that glorifies independence, true strength lies in recognizing interdependence, the beautiful truth that we need one another to become our best selves. He often paints vivid moments through his words: the friend who lent him money when he had none, the mentor who told him not to quit, the woman who loved him when the world walked away. Each story is a lesson in appreciation. Life is unpredictable. People leave, situations change, and time moves fast. But gratitude keeps memories alive. It keeps love alive. When you appreciate someone sincerely, you remind them that their effort mattered, that their kindness wasn't wasted. That acknowledgement becomes fuel for their spirit, just as their support once fueled yours. Steve Harvey's heartfelt reminder teaches that appreciation should be spoken while people can still hear it. Don't wait for a funeral to say thank you. Don't wait for regret to teach you what gratitude could have fixed. Call your mother, text your friend, tell your partner, you've changed my life. Those simple words hold the power to heal hearts and strengthen bonds. Gratitude is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that no blessing stays forever unless you honor it. When Steve says, I love you, woman who changed my life, he's not just talking to one person. He's speaking to everyone who has ever lifted someone from despair. He's giving a voice to unspoken appreciation, reminding the world that love is not just felt. It should be expressed, because people don't stay forever, and the ones who lift you today might need lifting tomorrow. Appreciation is the cycle that keeps humanity kind. It's the quiet power that turns pain into purpose, strangers into family, and hardship into growth. The truth is, we all owe a part of our strength to someone who refused to let us fall. That's the heartbeat of Steve Harvey's message. Gratitude is not about paying people back. It's about paying the blessing forward. When you learn to appreciate the ones who lifted you, you begin to lift others too. That's how love spreads, how hope survives, and how lives are changed, one grateful heart at a time.